Okay, well he's doing something, but what is he doing? They copied the sprite quite well. Ah, come on, where's the punchy sound effects for the laser? You always get them. Ah, such a slow game engine. That's no good. No, I haven't quite worked out how to play cartridge games on the C64 for like VIC20 stuff. And to be honest, I don't actually have the CRT archive, so I can't even test it out. But it involves a lot of, you know, renaming the files and stuff like that, so... Number of laps, 1, which is probably shit. F5, oh bollocks, where's this shit? Am I going the right fucking way? So this is like BMX Simulator. Very shit version of BMX Simulator. BMX Simulator is actually probably the best 16K game, you know, for the +4 C16. There's no music, there's no fancy graphics on the title page, there's no loading screen. But the rest of it's fine, actually. It's no different to the Amstrad CPC version from that point on. Now, I am planning on doing a little series on that, you know, Commando for the +4, Exploding Fist, again remade for the +4. I played Arkanoid yesterday and BMX Simulator just as a base mark. I think it is really worth comparing the Commodore +4 and the Amstrad CPC, although the idiots at Commodore, they overpriced the +4, didn't they? The +4, aka the 264 with a keyboard, should have come out for like about 75 to 100 quid less than the old Amstrad CPC. But of course Irving Gould, that cocksucker, he fucked that one up. Trying to see if there's any software houses I recognise, but let's try that one then. Yeah, my 2 cats had a fight today as well. It's like Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters! Da-da-da-da-da! Don't even tell you the keys. Well, if you can't bother to tell me the keys and do decent graphics, you can fuck off as well then. Fuck right off, mate. Yes, Adamski, why did you attack him? So your problem is, you don't back off. You'll let the smallest little cat in the house fucking take your food from the bowl, but you can't stand the sight of your dad. What's going on there, mate? We don't live in a fucking tower block. There's this fucking Batman the Dark Knight. I'll tell you what this is fucking, it's a shit game, mate. Shit. won't be playing that again. So the problem is, if you do put the flags on the file, so it actually sets up the VIC20 emulation, which is a real shit cocksucker way of doing it, you can't actually notice that on this file browser. There's no way of knowing. So you then have to like not only rename them, but as you're renaming them, unless you're going to spend 2 hours doing a massive directory, mind you have to split them down to like 150 files per directory or 100, something like that. Planet, something or other by Cascade. Planetoids, yeah it is. I want to use joystick. Great, well it's shit and you have to use keyboard. No, I can't play keyboard games in this room. Say press anything. Is it loading? Possibly still loading. So the one with the better graphics, instead of this fucking PETSCI shit, it does allow you to use joystick, and only joystick. The other one who looked quite interesting does not. So Cascade being as pathetic as usual. There used to be something called Tomy Pocket Racers. Alright, this is from that Denial website. This guy does a lot of VIC20 games actually, Jeffrey Daniel. Okay, this makes no sense. Is it like a drag race type thing? Yeah, I don't like it. Maybe the situation improves. No, it's the same year, so how much better can it be? Course one. Oh, it is. This is proper. So this is like the other game we were playing, but with more colours on screen. But pretty much the same game with the same graphics. And what are these power-ups? Or right, they're flags, obviously. Can I hit those? You get one life. It's very of its time. So I don't know if you get points for them or what. So I must have done a lap. Where's the checkered flag? Maybe that's the pits. It's very similar to the kind of unexpanded games I used to see, actually. Now, I could play Cosmiad and Vic Panic, but I'd rather play them on a real VIC20 because then I can use a Point Master joystick. So I've got Cosmiad and Vic Panic by Bug Bite for my VIC20. And Point Master joystick. They come in that horrible blister packaging, as it's called, like, you know, the plastic things. You need a bloody Stanley knife. Why am I doing poker? PETSCI poker, that's what you should have called it, mate. I'm not interested. Potholes with Bruce Lee. No. Pong. I don't want to play Pong. What's Pollywog? Doctor. Right, so how do you fucking get anywhere then? Because if you go in the water... Right, okay. No, and you can't go in their head either. It's a fucking terrible game. I mean, obviously you didn't get your PhD in game design, so that's that. Oh, I thought this was the Rabbit software game. No. Okay, let's go back to... I bet that's one-armed Bandit, so I'm not risking that. Let's try Outpost. No, anything that starts off looking that shit. Although, that was very nostalgic, actually, those colours. For me, that really reminds me of the VIC20. Those kind of like characters and those colours. I got a VIC20 and the first thing I did was draw like a version of pole position in PacMan graphics on the screen. Of course, I'd never be able to make it move like that. You know, maybe if I knew machine code. But, give me a break, man. I'm still a kid. And I've got a VIC20. So they put the music in there. And your guy, who's supposed to be PacMan, is like Neo from the Matrix because his mouth has been sealed up. And there's no... So he's literally, it could end at any second. You know, the power pellet business. I don't like this typing quality. I don't care what you say, it's typing quality. Pizza the video game. I wouldn't mind a pizza. I do have mozzarella and tomato puree and olive oil. But I'd have to make my own pizza bases. And it's a bit late for that. See, how's the scratch doing? You little shit! Nah, the one who scratched me is Aslan, and he didn't mean to do it, he was just having a bit of a panic attack. Because Killer was on the stairs. It wasn't obvious until you go around the corner and yeah, anyway. Domino's pizza. So what do you have to do then? Get the pizzas? Well, there's no pizza for me to eat, so I think that is... Hang on, I ate the pizza, so am I supposed to collect the pizzas and take them to the house? And the fucking... Why is there a fucking monster chasing me from Space Panic in a fucking pizza delivery thing? Oh, fuck off. So I'm just... Let's have a look at all this. It's like Missile Command, but very rubbish, sir. Ah, I don't like these kind of games with this kind of collision detection. Piss off. Next. So, yeah, you can actually go up a directory, I think. Yep, there you go. I'm just having a look if there's anything worth... I think this is Scramble Club. So some anti-Muslim bastard wrote this, because obviously, yeah, that's a typo. That is where it says Isram. I like that. There are better, you know, Scramble knockoffs. Race fun. I'll be the judge of whether it's fun or not. Well, actually, I remember this game. I've done a gameplay video of this. It's extremely sensitive to the old left-right movement, so it's everything. Then I'll shift though. See what I mean? Look, I literally touched this stupid joystick, and that's what happened. So this joystick is not really good enough for this game. Yeah, I can't really play. That's not a bad game as such. It looks quite nice. So it possibly is fun on a real VIC, you know, with a zip stick. Possibly if you use keys. Yeah, we've got another fucking typing piece of shit. Why do people archive those with commercial games? How am I supposed to know what these things are? They all sound shit. And why have they done it like this? Why don't they just do a proper fucking directory that you scroll up and down, and then you could have more than so many characters and you can read what the fuck the files are that you're loading. And show the fucking tags as well. Jesus Christ. The people who made this thing, God knows what kind of cock up they're going to make with, you know, the UAE emulator. Because that's even more fucking annoying to use than VIC20 emulation in Vice. Much more. I wouldn't piss on their efforts actually. If they do a full-size version, it's going to be the pig ugly obese A500 that you need a fucking dining table to use with. Scram 20 is a Scramble knockoff and is really shit. Okay, that didn't work. Probably dodged a bullet with that one again. A pet ski bullet. Robot Riot. Sounds interesting. So you don't actually control the left and right movement. And if you just keep pressing the fire button, you should get there eventually. So. Oh, and you're limited on how many shits you can fire. That's no good. Yeah, I didn't like that. It's a bit of a hang on, actually. We could technically load the tapes as long as they're unexpanded tapes. Well, I think there's less stuff on here. This is that game by Sumlock. I think Amok was quite good, I think. I've actually got like 175 VIC20 videos, you know, gameplay videos. Well, this is great. Okay, good. So, these should all work. Everything else you'll have to rename. Now, I'm not sure how you would do that, actually. So if you're going to load tapes that are like 8K, how would you do that? Because you can't edit the tap file and put the fucking flags on there. Do you put the flags on the tap file? No, because it's not actually loading anything then, is it? Might not be loading fuck all on here actually. So yeah, what the fuck are we gonna do with you two, eh? That puts me right off when you fight, you know that. Right off. Oh yeah, this is that Berserk Club. Bloody hell. You have to push and press fire to fire in the direction you want it. They kind of move and then stop and then move again. A bit like that David Tennant Doctor Who episode with is it Carey Mulgrew or something? Mully something, you know. He looked quite nice in that episode, but yeah, she looked butters ever since then. I don't know what the fuck happened. Be like Cameron Diaz. She looked nice in the mask, but she looked shit after that. But that's because she lost loads of weight. So all the good looks from her face. There we go. Obviously you can't touch the walls. You can't touch the sides, innit? Not gonna make any jokes here. Oh, they didn't fire at all. Ooh. So I don't think you actually have to get all of them. So it is kind of like Berserk. Fucking hell. Yeah, they took each other out. It's like the black hole, innit? And to think Robert Forster was in the black hole. And I watched that actually. I quite like that movie. That is a projector only movie though. And Christmas only. And even then, half the people in it are dead now, so I don't like that. That's the problem with watching old shit. If you got a thing about that, then... Ooh! So you can do diagonals. It's just, I find it difficult to line them up because of the VIC20's weird aspect ratio. It's like 22 columns by like 24 or 25 rows. That is really good actually. That's one of those games you should buy on tape for a real VIC20. I told you to. 3D Maze Galactic. Anything with the word maze in is bollocks. So actually, I've never seen a good football game on the VIC20. Never ever. Perhaps some Patreon prick out there could do like more fucking VIC20 videos. That's Battlefield. So some of these games come from you know, like a PC thing where it's like 8 characters maximum for the file name. It's not my fault. Now I did try to play this shit and it won't fucking show me the whole thing. Now I'm hoping that's just because it's badly cracked, but I suspect not. I suspect you need to play it on a real CRT. And a really old one, I would imagine. Right, we could try editing, you know. No, you can't actually. You'd have to exit to change the, you know, visual properties. So yeah, I mean, well, I did get scratched. I did have to pick up Killer in order to separate them. And to his credit, he hates being carried down the stairs. He's shit scared of that. And even in that agitated state, he didn't actually scratch me. Now you're probably thinking, oh, little scratch, oh, what a prick. Yeah, well, the trouble is, if you have a scratch and then you go shops and then some cunt with his fucking dumb phone has been flemming all over the fucking baked beans and you touch them, then when you take your gloves off after coming back from the shopping, If you touch your fucking hands, it's gone straight in your bloodstream. And this game's gone straight up the shitter, it would imagine, although possibly not. Again, there's no icon to say that the tape is still going round. Absolutely useless. Like I said, if you're going to use emulation, just fucking connect your PC to your LCD TV, which is a fucking monitor anyway. That's why they look so shit. And fucking PC wankers thought LCD. Fucking CRT is better than LCD, and if you don't agree, you're a prick. So that's the end of that conversation. So, right, we can't actually change anything, and we'd have to load it all again. So that was a complete waste of time, which is a real shame because I wouldn't mind playing that. Maybe there's some fucking options to put on the file name or something. Blitzkrieg. Is that spelt right? Is there one too many E's there? Wow, this video's gone on for like way too long. Now again, I've got no way of knowing if it's working. On a real VIC20, you'd obviously hear the tape, even if you couldn't see it. Oh look, Blitzkrieg by Jeff Minter. I don't remember this. Well, I certainly never had it. So, the loading from Lamasoft. Well, actually, I saw Jeff Minter talking on, I think it's called the 8-Bit Wars, that thing that's got Jack Tramiel in it, just before he died, actually. And he got something technically wrong, and I was like, what? That can't be right. So perhaps Jeff Minter is going senile. It was such an obvious, it's something that I knew straight away was wrong. It wasn't like, oh hang on, let me check that. I was like, no, that's not right. I was like, how weird. Because he certainly knew how to use, you know, the C64. I think he said something about the C64 was the first computer with sprites. I'm like, no, hang on a minute. There's a Texas Instruments TI-99 that's got sprites. That was 1978. And then the 1979 Atari 400-800, they are sprites, they're just called player missiles. I was like, well, how weird to say that. I think that's what he said. He was like, why would you say that? And it's not even like only in the UK, because all those computers were sold in the UK. Right, you've got to press space, I guess. Yeah. So it's certainly the most interesting looking version of, you know, Blitz. I remember watching some sort of thing with Fred Harris, who was teaching you how to write a Blitz game. And it was obviously on the Acorn. So I don't think it's me and my micro, it might have been. But anyway, straight after that was the giant spider invasion. So I remember watching that, and actually it wasn't straight after. And then I wrote like the same thing on the C64, so I converted everything. Yeah, that's actually not bad for